I think we have heard Dr. Sushato talking about the diseases. I will not touch on the diseases. I'll touch on some of the down-to-earth problems that we face in Southeast Asia and what is going to be the new diet for Southeast Asia. There's nothing new. It's just we need to look at the relook at the old diet. In the rural areas, we find that they are mainly vegetarians. If you look at, because they hardly get meat because either they have to hunt or festival, or it has to be a festival, or every 5 years the election rounds you might get some non-veg food. Yeah, I think this happens in most of the countries, but we are more concerned about the urban areas, because in urban areas we are already witnessing rapid industrialization, globalization, and whatnot. And obesity is one big area that we are looking at, and overeating because food is available around the clock, and people just go on eating. Especially the meat eaters, you find that they consume more meat, and they overeat. So it produces diseases, mainly cardiovascular disease, diabetes, osteoporosis, cancers. All these diseases are in the urban setting. What happens in the rural setting is they mainly are deficient in protein, they are deficient probably in minerals and vitamins. So they come with diseases related to those events like hypothyroidism, iron deficiency anemia, etc. Yeah? Whereas in the urban areas, they come with cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, and cancers and whatnot. Yeah? And undernutrition is still a major problem in the rural area in Southeast Asian countries because of this lack of food, rather proper food. Yeah? And if you look at Malaysia, undernutrition is not a major problem because food is available everywhere, and the other is healthcare is also available freely. Yeah? Whereas in some of our neighboring countries, it is a problem. Yeah? But as far as diabetes and whatnot are concerned, in the urban areas, I think it is generally the same in all the countries in Southeast Asia. Meat contributes directly to these diseases, and not forgetting inactivity like gluing to the TV and WhatsApp messages and computers that has taken over people's activity. Yeah? And you find that Pokemon is okay because it's an activity. People go around, yeah? So that is okay. Rapid highlights of the Malaysian national, that means we have to look at the health and morbidity survey of a country to know how healthy they are. And in Malaysia, we have the increasing number of diabetes, hypertension, lipids, means increased cholesterol are on the rise. Yeah, and this has to be addressed. Yeah, and if you look at the survey, also showed 7.5% of the Malaysian population take vegetables and fruits, and the WHO has said worldwide, because they don't take sufficient vegetables and fruits, the worldwide death is about 2.6 million. Yeah, that is a concerning effect. Yeah? Obesity actually is a growing urban concern, and obesity is not because it runs in the family, it's because people don't run. That is the reason why we get obesity. Yeah? So we need to address that issue also. But to save, we look at the UN report, where it says the global shift towards vegan diet is vital to save the world from hunger, fuel poverty, and worse impacts of climate change. It also adds to say that veganism can save the world from destruction. Yeah? And how do we, like vegetarian community, change the meat consuming community? Yeah? Answer lies not as individuals alone, but the government has to play a part. But if each government gives good support into the diet needs, then we'll be able to overcome obesity and heart diseases. Otherwise, it is going to be a growing concern. So what we need to do is we need to encourage meat consuming groups to introduce various vegan diets to the pregnant mothers, infants, growing children. Yeah.
You have got 60 seconds more.
Yeah. Yeah. So 60 seconds is quite fast. Huh? Yeah. We actually need to address these people and how we can give proper food for them. Yeah. Otherwise, you find that they may not be eating the right food too. Yeah. And as far as GMO food is concerned, Malaysia has got a regulatory framework for GMO foods. Environment and animals. Our global human population will exceed 9 billion, not 42 billion, by 2050. The annual slaughter of farm animals is set to reach 120 billion. This is going to cause a breakdown of global crop and water supply, global warming, soil and water pollution, famine, and also suffering to animals. UNDP report calculates that the cereals expected to feed the livestock by 2050 could instead feed 3.5 billion people. It boils down to our dietary choices. Vegan diet has a lower ecological footprint than meat and fish diet. Malaysia has got all the regulatory mechanisms to address various environmental issues like air pollution, water contamination, etc. We are also signatory to the Montreal Protocol on phasing out ozone depleting substances and CFC, and signatory to the Stockholm Convention Treaty on POPs, that is persistent organic pollutants. Yeah? There are also regulatory laws on ethical treatment of farm animals. There's also a lack of enforcement, and corruption is a major issue. Let us share these ideas among the Southeast Asian countries for a positive and progressive diet change for Southeast Asia, and contribute to a healthy nation and play a global role to stop global warming and stop the cruelty to all animals, as they too have the right to live. Thank you.
I'd like to highlight one of your talk on moving away from overeating. And I think you are the right candidate to speak about moving away from overeating. Look at how slim and fit you are. So a big round of applause for moving away from overeating. And Dr. Philae, it's not just about vegan. We can still be vegan and we can still be overweight. So do not overeat. Of course, we'll have a discussion time. I like to know more when we should know that we should stop eating.